might not be legible. On February 11, 1964, at a conference with Mr. Mark Lane and Mrs. Marguerite Oswald, a copy of a letter dated July 19, 1960, from Mrs. Oswald to Mr. Khrushchev was copied. To guard against the possibility that the copy which was made might not be legible, the letter itself was read onto this tape. The letter reads, it's dated July 19, 1960, with a return address of 1407 8th Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, and it reads, Dear Mr. Khrushchev, in September of 1959, my son Lee Harvey Oswald went to Russia, and while there, he renounced his U.S. citizenship and applied for Soviet citizenship. According to the newspapers, his request was refused, but was told he could remain in your country as a, quote, resident alien, close quote. I had one letter from him in January, but my letter to him was returned to me, and I have not heard from him again. I want what is best for my son, and I will respect his desires, but naturally I am very much concerned and would like to know if he is all right, his possible whereabouts, if he is working, etc. I would be forever grateful if you would be so kind as to supply me with any information. I am much worried and deeply concerned, as a mother naturally would be. Thanking you in advance, I remain sincerely, Mrs. Marguerite Oswald, 1407 8th Avenue, Fort Worth 4, Texas. Did you follow my reading the letter, Mrs. Oswald? And it's a correct transcription of the letter, is it not? Would you say on the tape that I read the letter correctly, so we have a record of it?
Yes, you read the letter correctly, and we do have a record of it.
Thank you, Mrs. Oswald. There also appears in the official records jacket of Lee Harvey Oswald, which contains papers relating to his discharge from the Marine Corps, a letter dated April 26th, apparently undated, but containing the date 26 April 1960, with a return address 1410 Hurley, and correction, it's dated June 10, 1960. The letter reads, reference code, :/JETIRGR 1900, 26 April 1960. A letter is addressed to the United States Marine Corps. It reads, Dear Sir, I am writing you on behalf of my son Lee Harvey Oswald. He is out of the country at present, and since I have no contact with him, I wish to request a stay of action concerning his discharge. Also, I desire to be informed of the charges against him. Please state reasons for such discharge. After hearing from you, I will willing to act in his behalf. Sincerely, Mrs. Marguerite C. Oswald, 1410 Hurley, Fort Worth 4, Texas. Mrs. Oswald, would you look at the letter that I just read and tell me if I read it? Did I read the letter correctly?
The letter has been read correctly.
Thank you.
Letter from Lee Harvey Oswald to John Connally, Secretary of the Navy. I have been in the Soviet Union with the full sanction of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. He asked the Navy Department to take the necessary steps to repair the damage to me and my family. I shall employ all means to right this gross mistake or injustice to a bona fide U.S. citizen and ex-serviceman. How can anybody who knows this boy, like his mother, say that this is a threatening letter? All the boy is saying is that I am proud to be a Marine and of a family. And I want my honorable discharge. I earned it 3 years in the service. I fought in Formosa. I was in Japan at the age 17 and a half years old. And that's all the boy is saying.
With Mrs. Marguerite Oswald. This is belt number 2. There'll be about a 15 or 20 second overlap in this belt and the other belt to help you get your place located.
Well, I didn't know whether he was living or dead. So here is a letter from Albus Flies to college. A letter from Albus Flies to college. It states that his itinerary to go there will be a day or two late. Now, I'm not going to go. I have a lot of correspondence from this, but it's impossible to go into all of it.
Well, this completes all of the sound movie film taken by KRLD TV, Dallas, Texas, from which this transcript was taken. Period, and I believe that's about all we can put on this one.
Albert E. Jenner, Jr. to William A. McKenzie, Robert L. Oswald. On this tape and subsequent tapes, we'll read pages 1 through 27 of the diary heretofore submitted to the Warren Commission at the time that Robert L. Oswald testified before the Commission. Period.
Page 1, December 6, 1963.